warm welcome to the third edition of the Global Hospitality Education Expo. Thank you for joining us from all over India. We are very excited to host you today. We hope you have an amazing experience at the breakout sessions and get your questions answered from the university representatives present in the virtual lobby. So let's head to our masterclass. Our first masterclass is presented by Kendall College at the National Louis University, Chicago. Kendall College is a top culinary school based in Chicago, which offers courses in culinary arts, baking and pastry, and hospitality management. So today we have with us Chef Wook Kang. He's a program chair at Kendall College, and today he is going to demonstrate a seafood delicacy which is called the pan-seared halibut with wild mushroom and tomato ragu. So let's hear from Chef Wook.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. It's my pleasure to be with you. Today, I'd like to demonstrate a very traditional preparation of halibut. We will do a nice pan sear, and to serve with that nice piece of fish, we're also going to be making a wild mushroom tomato ragu. So first things first, one thing that I want to mention before we get started with anything is that whether you cook at home or in the professional kitchen, that you are always prepared to make sure that everything is clean and sanitized. As you can see, I have my mise en place all ready to go. And there's going to be a lot of terms that you will learn when you enroll in culinary school. Mise en place will mean everything in its place. I have butter, I have salt and black pepper, white wine, which will be a wonderful addition to our sauce. We also have shallots, I have fresh thyme, there's some wild mushrooms, tomatoes, and then lastly, we have some cream. The first thing that I want to do is prepare my mushrooms. The mushrooms that I will do will be in the style of a medium mix. I'm going to grab my knife. I'm going to cut these into 4 pieces. And for the one portion that I'm preparing for this dish, I am using 5 mushroom caps. You can use more, you can use less. Ultimately, it's really going to be dependent on the cook or the chef. So as I have my mushrooms prepared, I'm going to preheat my pan. In my pan, I need to have it nice and hot and smoky. The reason for that is so that it really creates the browning of my mushrooms, and it's really going to intensify the flavor. So I'm waiting for some nice hot smoke, and the smoke will let me know that I am ready. How do you know when your pan is hot enough? Always make sure that you pay attention to the smoke because it's not going to text you. So I have a little bit of vegetable oil. I do see the nice smoke coming up from my pan. I'm adding a touch of vegetable oil. You can hear that nice sizzle. And what I will do next is I'm going to add my mushrooms. And I really want to create that nice browning that's going to be so critical, not only for this sauce, but it's going to be so critical for the overall flavor for our dish. The mushrooms really complement the fish. The fish that we're using today is the halibut. It is wonderful and it is in season. The mushrooms will provide a really nice savory component to the dish. And the shallots that I've prepared will also provide some subtle sweetness. As you are searing and sauteing your mushrooms, it's so important that you season in layers. When you hear chefs and cooks talk about building flavor, it's important that you understand that you need to season in the stages so it ultimately gives you that final dish and that final touch that you're looking for at the final taste. So a little bit of kosher salt. I am adding my black pepper. And one thing that you notice that I haven't been doing is shaking my pan so vigorously. I want to let it brown, and I'm really hoping to get all the even browning in this mushroom dish. So I have not touched it. I'm leaving it alone. You want to listen to the sounds of the mushrooms because it's letting you know that you're searing too high or you're searing too low. So the next preparation is my shallot. For this recipe, I only need half a shallot. So the shallot, we are going to ciselé. The ciselé term is going to be a nice small brunoise, another culinary term that you will learn in your culinary program. So we're going to ciselé our mushrooms, cut them into more or less an 1/8 of an inch in thickness. So I have my shallots prepared, beautifully diced. And now I'm ready to shake my mushrooms. I can smell them. I can also see some colors being transformed. And now we have some great browning coming in with the mushrooms. And if you do it right, you can also hear them squeak. So I hear them squeaking because they're having a great time in their hot pan. So the mushrooms are looking great. I'm getting some good color. I'm really enjoying the sound of the mushrooms. I really wish everybody was here because you can really smell the mushrooms and it'll really enjoy that flavor at the final stage. So once I have my mushrooms, I'm going to be ready to add my shallots, and then I'm going to add my tomatoes. So in the meantime, while my mushrooms are getting nice and brown, I will concasse my tomato. My tomato has already been blanched. So the blanching means that it has been par cooked, and not really to cook it, it's just to remove the skin, as you can see. So what I'm doing here is I'm removing the skins. And everything that we do, not only at Kendall, but as chefs, is take pride in our knife cuts. So the knife cuts that you will learn in the program will be so critical to your success, not only in the culinary program, but also for your future career. So once I remove these peels, and it's always important that you also pay attention to everything in the kitchen. My mushrooms are letting me know that they're getting nice and happy. I'm gonna pull them off just a little bit to the side. I'm going to cut my tomato in half, and I'm going to be de-seeding as a part of the concasse technique. So I'm going to remove the tomato and just the seeds. And then I will also do a nice small dice. A small dice, it actually has some definition, meaning it needs to be 1/4 of an inch by 1/4 of an inch by 1/4 of an inch. So what we'll do is we'll square off the tomato, and then I will move them over. And now we will have wonderful small dice of tomatoes that we will have ready for our ragu. So once I have this all prepared, I am ready to go. And you'll see that if you have everything well mise en place, cooking becomes very, very simple. So what I'll do here is I'll dry my hands. And then if we go back to this, I have my mushrooms. I'm going to add my shallots. You will know that the shallots are ready as soon as you can smell them. The aroma is so critical for this dish. So it really only takes about a couple of seconds. And so I will add just a little bit more additional oil. I'm going to re-season, and just a touch of salt, just a touch of pepper, and then I will add my tomatoes. And this is where it gets really fun, everybody. As you're cooking and you're developing the soups, the juices, the foam in the bottom of the pan, that's really where a lot of that great flavor is going to be. So in order for us to really capture all of those flavors and the essence of the sauce, we're also going to be deglazing. Another culinary term. Hope you're taking notes. It's in your quiz today. So once we have this very well browned and you can start smelling the shallots, the mushrooms, the tomatoes, now it's time for you to deglaze with your white wine. So as you deglaze, you're really looking to remove all the nice brown bits in the bottom of the pan. So once your pan and your white wine has been reduced to eau sec, then what you'll do is you will add your demi-glace. The demi-glace that I have, it is, think of essentially a highly reduced stock. So I will add my demi-glace. And the demi-glace will add some nice meatiness to our fish. So once I have this prepared, I will let this get nice and hot. There will be 2 additions that we'll add to the sauce as I let this simmer. We are now ready for the fish. So the fish, everybody, same technique. We are going to prepare our pan, make it nice and hot. Let me clean off my station. So remember, as you are preparing this at home or whether you are preparing this in a professional kitchen, it's very critical that you pay attention to all parts of sanitation. So as I'm not only wiping down my board, I'm also going to be sanitizing it to make sure that everything is properly cleaned. So as I sanitize my board and I've wiped it all down, I am now ready to prepare my fish. I have my hot smoking pan. What I will do is I have my halibut. The halibut is wrapped in a paper towel to make sure that it is fully dry. When you're sauteing, you have a goal. You want to have a golden brown exterior and you will have a soft, tender interior. How tender? Like my heart. So what we'll do is once we remove the fish, we are going to season it. We have salt. And it's important that you season both sides. So I have my salt. I will have my black pepper. We will also add salt on the other side. And with fish and with other types of proteins, there is a presentation side. With fish, if you are serving it skinless, it is going to be the bone side or the opposite side of the skin. So I have a nice hot smoking pan. I'm going to be adding my vegetable oil. My fish is nicely seasoned. This is my presentation side, the bone side, and then I'm going to be adding it to the pan. And same technique, I'm not going to shake the pan in the initial stages to ensure that I get the even browning that I need. And as you saute, always make sure that you place it away from you, not towards you, so you don't splatter your beautiful faces. So as I have my hot smoking pan, you can hear that sizzle. I love that sound. If I could make it my ringtone, I would. So we're going to sear the fish, get a wonderful brown crust. This will take about 2 minutes to cook. So as that's searing, let me go over a couple of things with all of you. To finish the sauce, we're going to add heavy cream, and we're also going to finish it with butter. As this fish is being prepared, we're also going to be basting it with butter too. And what the basting will do is allow to capture the moisture inside the fish and also ensure that it has that nice, luxurious flavor. And then at the end, we're also going to be adding chopped parsley. The chopped parsley will add some freshness to the sauce. So at this point, you can check a few things out. I'm going to just take a quick peek on my fish. It's looking very nice. I just want to make sure that it gets a little bit brown. And always pay attention to your flame, everybody. Sometimes people forget that it's on too high. Sometimes people forget that it's on too low. So it's very critical that you use all of your senses when you're cooking. Not only your use of sight, but also your hearing and also your sense of smell. It's very, very critical when you're cooking that you pay attention to all of those senses that you're blessed with. So at this point, what I'm going to do is I'm looking for color changes on my fish. I want to make sure that I have the nice brown crust, but also ensuring that it's not going to be overcooking. One mistake a lot of people make when they cook fish is slightly overcooking it more oftentimes than not. The trick is to cook it slightly under because there will be a carryover cooking effect. So I have my wonderful fish. We have a beautiful crust, everybody. So I'm going to use my fish spatula. Flip it over. And here I have my beautiful crust. I have a nice golden brown exterior. This will take about 20 seconds just to kind of finish off the fish. I've cooked my fish almost 90% on the presentation side. Here I have a small knob of butter, and what I will do is I will add it in. That's going to create a nice brown butter to my fish as well. So I have this wonderful butter that's going to be browning it in the pan, and what I will do is I will start basting it. Oh, everybody, if you can see this fish, you have a wonderful browning. You have the little knob of butter that's just ever so gently caressing the fish. And the brown butter, as it finishes, creates a wonderful nutty flavor to your dish. So as my fish is being carried over, you can see the fish in all its glory. So one last piece to this recipe that I will be preparing is I will finish this off with a little lemon juice. So here, we're going to use about half a lemon, and this will really brighten up our dish. So as we are going to finish off, I have my induction burner ready to go. I'm going to reheat my sauce, finish it with heavy cream, finish it with butter, and then also finish it with some fresh herbs. So I'm going to let my fish carry over, do one quick taste. So I have my sauce simmering nicely. I'm going to be adding my heavy cream. Just a small amount. I'm adding about 2 tablespoons. And the last thing that we'll do is we will monter au beurre. That is melting with fresh butter. And the butter will also do 2 things for our sauce. It's going to help thicken, but really give that luxurious flavor that we're really looking forward to. So as my fish is resting, I'm going to be adding a small drizzle of lemon juice. And then as this is simmering, I'm going to be adding 1 sprig of fresh thyme. This will really add some nice freshness. And the fresh thyme, I'm going to remove it just before I present. So just before we are ready to present, I'm going to remove unnecessary items on my station. I will do a quick sanitize. And we will have a wonderful plate up. I have a nice clean plate. Let me remove these up to the side. What I'm looking for with my sauce is a consistency called nappe. What we're looking for is to make sure that it is going to cling to the back of a spoon. And one last piece before you are ready to serve this, taste your food. You've worked so hard for it. You always have to taste, then you have to analyze, adjust, and taste again. So with a clean spoon, I'm looking for my consistency. It's a very, very nice consistency. I do have the nappe that I'm looking for. I'm going to be finishing it with 1 tablespoon of butter, and we're swirling it in. And the swirl is very important because what we're doing is we're creating an emulsion. So if the butter is not cold enough, it's going to separate and it's going to break and split in your sauce, and that's not what you want. So this is a skill that you also learn in your courses here at Kendall College, as well as sauce making, as well as searing, sauteing, and so forth. So as we finish off this sauce, you can see that it is very, very shiny, and the butter has done a wonderful job given the nice consistency that we're looking for. And one last thing that I will do is I will taste this. So my butter is fully emulsified. I'm going to have 1 quick taste. Oh, delicious. So what we will do, I am ready to plate. When you are plating your sauce, you're going to remove your fresh thyme because that is not what you're going to serve. I have a nice crust on the fish, and so what I'm looking for with the fish is to retain that crust. So I'm going to be adding my mushrooms underneath. That'll be my bed, and you're probably wondering, how much sauce do I need? A good rule of thumb is for every bite of fish, you want a bite of sauce to accompany. So I will put on a nice pair of gloves. We're working with ready-to-eat foods. And I have my fish. Place it right on here. So I create my height. I also have my color. And one last note, just before I present, just a little bit more accent on the fish itself. And everybody Here we have our classical preparation of a seared halibut with a wild mushroom ragu. I need a test taster. Where can I find them? Oh, there she is.
I'm always up for tasting.
Luckily for you, I have a spoon.
Oh, Chef, that's so delicious. So delicious. Thank
you. And thank you, everybody. Looking forward to seeing all of you at Kendall College.